What an absolutely monstrous win for the Utah Jazz. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Show. Guys, I couldn't start fast enough tonight, but before we get into this, let's talk about prize picks. Guess what? I hit my prize picks tonight. I had the over on John Collins, I had the over on Paul George, and then they had the discount on Jason Tatum, so I had it, and I hit, and it wasn't easy. I did it in the third quarter. Go to prizepicks.com, use promo code HoopsNerd to sign up. They will match up to $100 if you go sign up today. Go do it. It supports the channel. All right, let's talk about the Jazz. Let's bring this up. Let's take me down. All of you were mad about my Jordan Clarkson tweet. I was right. Here's one thing you'll always learn about the Hoops Nerd. I may not always be right, even though I just contradicted what I said. I may always be right, but I'm never wrong, all right? Never, ever wrong. All right, let's find the Jazz game. I should have pulled this up before, but this is not a professional channel. This is not a professional channel. We're not on ESPN. We're not like all these shows on that have quality. Let's see here. How do we make me smaller? Get my big old face out of the way. All right, shall we just talk about it? The Jordan Clarkson shot was incredible. The reason it was insane is because it was the absolute Jordan Clarkson experience. Jordan Clarkson goes when he took the shot. When he took the three, that all of you are yelling at me about my tweet. All of you online are yelling at me, and I shared this with lots of you, but then Elon Musk didn't let me repeat the tweet, so I stopped. I'm digging in. Why are you booing me? Don't boo me. I'm right. I know what some of you cheer for. Anyways, Jordan Clarkson, when he takes the shot, was 3 for 12 from the game. That is what makes that shot even crazier. He was 3 for 12. 25%. It's not even a great batting average in baseball tonight. And he goes and he takes it without fear and he buries it. Wins the game. And not only that, on the other end, on defense, locks down Kawhi freaking Leonard, who at his peak of his powers is a top 5 player in the NBA. Jordan Clarkson, that is the Jordan Clarkson experience. That is what he brings. He is fearless, and I should give him more credit. Or maybe I should just trash players, because guess what? At the start of the game, I said Jazz were getting a pretty good whistle, and boy, did the referees change their mind on that one. Boy, did they have something going on that second half, because my goodness, was that getting garbage. Anyways, all props to Jordan Clarkson. When we were struggling, when we saw only one set of footprints left on that beach, Jordan Clarkson, that was when Jordan Clarkson carried us to the finish line, to the beach, and laid us down to rest on a nice recliner. That leaves us here. I don't know if that... Anyways, let's talk about it. Let's dive deep. By the way, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, as much as I hate them and I hate referees, you know, I wish a pox on all referees and all that they do on their existence in general. But I have to say, with whether or not the refs were bad, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were fantastic. Paul George especially, 36. I mean, Prize Picks had him at 22.5. By the way, the time to use Prize Picks is now, because they don't have their numbers acclimated. And I swear it's interns choosing the lines. But 22 for Paul George against Utah. The guy always detonates on Utah every time. Tonight was no different. 36. I mean, he is just such a special scorer. 9 for 17 from the field, 3 for 9. He hits every single one of his 15 free throws. Just monstrous. For the Jazz to withstand a Paul George game like that is pretty huge for Utah. And then Kawhi Leonard, who just quietly is always just the Terminator. It does not matter. He is going to be efficient. He is going to score. He is massive. It's crazy watching John Collins guard him and be about the same size. Kawhi Leonard is just he's just a unit. He's unbelievable. Anyways, that's all I want to talk about the Clippers. And by the way, I hate Norman Powell. He just crushes the Jazz. Look at this, 7 for 10. I hate Norman Powell. I hate him. 7 for 10 from the field. Are you kidding me? The Utah Jazz win this game with big-time games from Kawhi and Paul George, a monster game from Norman Powell. Bones Highland was somehow efficient, and the Jazz still win? Well, let's look at it further and see why. 1, it's Lauri Markkanen. He's fantastic, and he has a big-time game tonight. I didn't pick the over on points, and shame on me. A pox on me. A pox on me. I was not right. I was wrong. I did not think the scoring would be great because guess what? He's being guarded by Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And so for him to put up this type of game is 2 things. The point guard play was a little bit better tonight, and he is an off-ball player. He just is. His ability to get that shot off and find open space and score and he's arguably one of the most opportunistic players I've ever seen, to be honest. His ability to understand when to cut at the right moment, in transition, when to just flare out and hit the corner 3 or the top of the key or the top of the 3-point line 3, whatever it is, he is just absolutely a master of that. And so when you have nice guard play from the Jazz, those things happen. He got some nice play from multiple. I mean, they had so many guards playing tonight for the Jazz, and all of them were doing a pretty decent job of getting Markkanen the ball because these are not isolation plays. That last play at the game where it honestly almost cost the Jazz the game, when Markkanen has that turnover, I don't know if I'm the biggest fan. I mean, there's a little bit of Bogdanovich there. I'm not the biggest fan of Lauri Markkanen getting isolation like 3 feet behind the 3-point line because especially when you got Paul George and Kawhi guarding. So props to Will Hardy for trusting him, but that one play at the end nearly gave me a heart attack when he kind of threw the ball away and it goes back to the Clippers. But in literally every other scenario, Markkanen is fantastic. He's just an absolute elite off-ball player. And when I say off-ball player, I mean that in the kindest way, best way possible, because he does everything at an elite level. Transition, spot-up shooting, getting like a quick release on like a pull-up 3 off of a curl, like a curl 3, the famous Matt Harpring shot, the curl shot, if you know what I'm talking about, or like the Kyle Korver 3 is that curl 3. He's starting to hit that, and the more Markkanen can do those types of things, even more effectively will he hit the game, just be good. There's analysis. Lauri Markkanen, make basket, it good. That's the analysis, okay? And that's what he was doing, but he does it in every facet off the ball. So when this Jazz team gets good ball movement, not just from the guard play, because in this modern game, you can't really win if you're just having one John Stockton controlling the game all the time. Like the James Harden kind of just having the ball in his hands at all times. You've got to have multiple guys moving the ball. And when the Jazz move the ball, and they did tonight, someone like Lauri Markkanen, who's so good off the ball, is going to have a big-time game, and that's what he did. I know that John Collins' shot wasn't quite falling tonight. The 3 wasn't falling, but I felt like he played great. They put John Collins' line at 5 on rebounds. In the first game, he had 11. Tonight, he had 12 rebounds. Monster stuff. This Jazz team, look at this. Markkanen and Collins both have 12 rebounds. Collins did a lot of... Collins had an interesting game, and I think I don't want to give an excuse. You need at least one more of these to fall, but it will. At least I hope so. 13 points, 12 rebounds. He guarded a lot of Kawhi Leonard, a lot of Paul George. He's a big body. He's bouncy, and so the fact that he can do that a little bit is great. The defensive element of John Collins is a nice addition to this Jazz team, and when you consider that he rebounds the ball like this, it's big time. I don't know what's going on with Walker Kessler. This is like the second night in a row he's played exactly like 21 minutes. I think Will Hardy really likes to play Kelly Olynyk because look at this. Kelly Olynyk plays 26 off the bench. He just leads in those center minutes. But Walker Kessler, I felt like he played well. Look at that, +6. There were times in the second half I was wondering why he wasn't coming in more. But you know what? Will Hardy was right because Kelly Olynyk hits that just absolutely 2 just monster 3s to give the Jazz a 2-point lead that if he does not hit those, the Jazz do not win this game. As great as that Jordan Clarkson shot was, Jordan Clarkson was also missing a lot of shots, and it was those 2 threes by Kelly Olynyk. So all credit to Kelly Olynyk. He also moved the ball well, just fantastic. But this is something to watch. It's interesting, but what was really cool is Walker Kessler takes 2 threes, 2 corner threes, and if he hits those with regularity, then it changes a lot of things for this Jazz offense. He can do a lot more Will Hardy can do a lot more 5-out. And so I'm just really happy that he's taking these. I hope he takes 1 or 2 a game. I really do, until he gets more acclimated. But right now for the season, I think he's 1 for 3, 33%. If he can get to 35, 36% just on corner threes, that changes a lot of things. And that allows this Jazz team to do a lot of stuff. With this Jazz team having so many guards, you can see what Will Hardy's thinking, where he's trying to get a 5-out. So all these guards with all this speed and athleticism can take advantage. So really nice. We've talked about Jordan Clarkson. The shot was not falling, but he hit it when it mattered most. I also feel like when Jordan Clarkson is on the floor, at least in this first part of the season, he's been likely the most calming presence from the guard position, where his ability to set people up has been really good. I mean, he's been really nice. Tonight he has 6 assists. That's really nice. Jordan Clarkson continually is the over on assists on Prize Picks. Just go watch it. He got us tons of Prize Picks wins last year with his assists. So, and he's only going to continue to get minutes. Maybe he comes off the bench, but whatever it is, Jordan Clarkson has been a nice signing so far for the Jazz. His game is aging super nice, and the fact that they have him for like 4 years now is great. He's a big-time part of what they do. I doubt they ever trade him because he's so nice. He knows the system. You can trust him more and more and more these days. He's just become such a nice player. I wouldn't say he's the most complete player because there are a few little holes to his game, but he's pretty darn close to a complete player and what he is. And just can't say enough about Jordan Clarkson. And I know I said you should sit him. The shot was not falling tonight. So, I don't know. Props to Will Hardy for trusting his guy. I would have probably sat him if I was the coach. And someone on Twitter said we would have lost if you weren't coach. Well, maybe. But you know what? Props to Will Hardy for making the right move, keeping him out there, because Jordan Clarkson made 2 monster plays at the end to seal the game. Talen Horton-Tucker, I don't know what to say anymore at this point. I think it's Laird Doman on Twitter. He's great because he has season tickets. He's close to the Jazz bench, and he kind of tweets things about what's going on in the bench. Apparently, Will Hardy was just yelling at Talen Horton-Tucker multiple times about closeouts. I don't know what to do. I mean, he's a +4, and I actually felt like he played better tonight, and the 3-point shot was falling at an efficient level for him. But it's just, and he had 8 assists too. But it's one of those things where you come away just feeling like the offense is not playing well when he's playing. I don't know. There's moments where he has great moments. It's the Talen Horton-Tucker experience is the biggest roller coaster out there, because there are moments where it's like, oh my gosh, awesome play, or corner 3. And he hit that one kind of fade away, baseline jumper. In fact, we can even, this is the shot I hated though. And then it went down. But it's like this one right here. I just hate this. This doesn't make anyone better. And I know he makes it, and that's great and all. But then you go and you have this just game where it's just, you have 30% shooting. And that was literally the only 2-point shot he makes. That's what's crazy. He makes 2 for 5 from 3, but he only made 1 2-point shot. So he goes 1 for 5 from the field. You'd expect that to be better. I don't know. It's such a rough, it's definitely Indiana Jones ride THT. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. It is so up and down, and you want more consistency, and I just don't feel like it's the smoothest experience. I don't mind it off the bench, but the Jazz have so many guys that I would consider a 6th man. Oh my gosh, Levon Panhurst. Thank you, my friend. $4.99. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Is it Levon, however you say? I appreciate it. What it is legend. Levon is short for legend. That's what it is. Pat McAfee needs to attend every Jazz game. Loved watching his juice with Ryan Smith. That was fun. I don't really know who Pat McAfee is. I know he's like on ESPN in a radio show. I've never really watched him. But hey, when the Jazz play like this, if Pat McAfee comes, bring him along. Bring him along. It's fun to have celebrities at the Jazz games. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I agree, though. Legend Levon. That's what we're going to say. But anyways, I am at a loss sometimes. It is like an up and down experience with Talen Horton-Tucker. And now that I'm 40 years old, I don't know if my old body can handle it. I'm 40 now. I can't handle it. It's too much for me. It's too much for me. You know what happened tonight? When Jordan Clarkson did that 3, I flexed like an idiot and I pulled a pec muscle. That's what's going on right now in my life. Is pec muscles are getting pulled. Collin Sexton, man, it's kind of a similar thing with Collin Sexton. Let's see. The 5 for 12 from the field is just kind of not quite good enough, but then he'll make plays. He plays his hearts out. He absolutely plays his heart out. He didn't hit his threes. He had that awesome defensive stand where he held, I think it was Paul George, and he forced an 8-second backcourt violation, which you could argue helped the Jazz. I mean, you can't argue it. It's not an argument. It did. It helped the Jazz win this game. Every play matters, by the way. Every missed shot matters, not just the last one. Every one in between too. So anyways, 5 for 12 from the field. I love the energy. It's great. I love the tenacity. I love everything about it. There's some things. It's those blinders he has on when he goes straight to the hoop. And sometimes it's great. I mean, it's 5 for 12 is, I guess, good enough against a tough Clippers team. In a playoff game, you're probably happy with that type of stat line. But sometimes you're not making other guys better, And so, I don't know what to say. It's up and down. It's sixth man stuff. That's what's really tough. Is I feel like Jordan Clarkson, who is obviously one of the best sixth men in the NBA, it's why he won the award. Talen Horton-Tucker, Collin Sexton, I would consider these guys probably sixth men on a good basketball team. And really, Jordan Clarkson. I don't know if Talen Horton-Tucker and Collin Sexton are the sixth man on a championship team. You know what I mean? Jordan Clarkson, I could see it. These two, I'm not so sure. So I don't know what's going to happen. Jordan the GOAT, Besserell, 199. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it. Please start Keyonte George. THT is unreliable. Amen. Everyone give an amen to Jordan the GOAT, Besserell. He is right. That's why he's the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT. But it's absolutely true. And we will talk about Keyonte. Believe me. Believe me. We'll talk about Keyonte. But first we got to talk about, well, I guess we're almost there. Kelly Olynyk. There were a lot of people on the Twitter machine that said a lot of not nice things about Kelly Olynyk. But you know what? Kelly Olynyk was a big part of why the Jazz offense was so good last year. In fact, let's refresh. It is now time to see, after 2 games, where the Jazz offense sits. Oh, baby, we're at 12. Already rising. Now, defensive rating, I don't know. It's going to be another story. Not good. 21st in the league. I thought there was 30 NBA teams. How does that work? I guess. But anyways, the Jazz are bottom 4 in defense. So I don't know. This is what they were last year. They were elite offense and bad defense. So far, the offense is getting better. Number 12. But am I counting anyone out? All season segments per game, defensive rating. Nope, I'm not. I guess some teams just got cut out. The Washington Wizards. Anyways, this is not where you want to be defensively, but that's 2 games. So I hope the Jazz can get that. Can the Jazz get their defense into the top 20? If the Jazz can get their defense just into like the top, why is this only showing this many teams? I don't know. But anyways, if the Jazz can be, I don't trust this at all. There should be 6 more teams here. But anyways, if the Jazz can be a top 20 defensive team with the offense from last year where it's like high level efficiency, they will get there. Now, when you have players like, Jordan Clarkson shooting 4 for 13, THT shooting 3 for 10, what is his name? Collin Sexton going 5 for 12. That's going to be hard to have an elite offense, right? So that's got to be better. And sometimes it's just playing certain players less, like Talen Horton-Tucker, and playing players that are shooting it and playing really well more, like Keyonte George. Man, was this an exciting 12 minutes. Oh my gosh. Anyways, that's all I got on those two. And Kelly Olynyk, he moves the ball within the offense. Anyways, the point of going to the stats was just to talk about how the Jazz have a high-level offense, and Kelly Olynyk's part of it. He moves the ball. He hits threes. He's already shooting at a high clip for 3. Remember, when the Jazz went 10-3 last year, and that's not out of the question, because guess what? The first 5 games for this Jazz season are brutal. Brutal. They have a game tomorrow night. 3 games in 4 nights starting tomorrow. So brutal, brutal, brutal. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a lot more run from Keyonte. Maybe even some Taylor Hendricks. But it's Kelly Olynyk moving the ball, shooting the ball. I'm losing track. I'm losing my mind. But anyway, oh, 10-3. They can still go 10-3. If they can steal a game, one of these next few games, especially against like the Suns, who will not have Devin Booker or I believe Bradley Beal, the Jazz can steal that if they play hard tomorrow. It's going to be tough, though. That's where the depth of the Jazz is going to help a lot. But anyways, Kelly Olynyk helps your offense be elite. He just does because he makes the right play. He moves the ball. He shoots it at a high clip. He rebounds. He just does everything. Tonight he was like, arguably the MVP of the game outside of Markkanen. Because look at this, 5 for 6 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3. He was nearly had a perfect game, literally. 3 assists, 3 rebounds. You can't say enough. He just does everything. He helps you win basketball games. Anyone online who says bad things about Kelly Olynyk, stop listening to that person. Stop listening to that person because he is an important part of this basketball team and he does so many different things. And there's a reason Will Hardy plays him for extended minutes. He does so many things. It's just it's so nice to have such a versatile player on the floor. Ochai Agbaji only got 12 minutes tonight. He's got to be better. He missed that 2 threes. Those threes have to fall down. If those threes are not falling, it's a struggle. And I don't know if he was as good as you'd like defensively. There's some moments where I've got to be honest with myself. There's some moments where I'm like, does Ochai have it? Does he have it? Because you need him to be a lockdown defender. He needs to be that. He's so athletic and he's got good size and all these different things. But he's got to knock down his threes. And we know he can, but the consistency's got to be there, and it's not quite there yet. I think it will, but man, that's part of the reason why he's sitting. It was not a lot of impact from Ochai in this game. All right, another guy that didn't, can you believe the Jazz won this game? Honestly, look at this. 2 for 7 from Chris Dunn. 4 for 13 from Jordan Clarkson. 5 for 12 from Collin Sexton. 4 for 11, John Collins. The Jazz won this basketball game. Part of it was because we talked about it last game. The Jazz shot 28 threes last game. As I recall, the Sacramento Kings shot 58. It was an insane disparity of 3-point shots. Tonight, the Jazz almost double it, I guess, or 75% increase, whatever. 41 threes compared to 28. And with this team filled with so many good shooters, you have to do it. And they hit it at a good clip, 16 of 41. That's what the Jazz have to do to win these games. Because when you've got 2 superstars like Kawhi and Paul George, you have to win the math game. You have to be getting these shots up. And they did. This is incredible coaching to change that around. 16 for 41. And then obviously for these players to just knock them down. 39%. And guess what? The Clippers shot 40. But guess what? They only took 35 compared to the Jazz 41. It's math. Sometimes it's just math. And your offensive system has to incorporate that. And that's what the Jazz are doing. Fantastic job by Will Hardy to adjust. Fantastic job by the Utah Jazz players to execute it and hit those shots. You just have to, or you're dead in the water. It's part of the reason why the Jazz lost to Sacramento. The guard play last game against Sacramento did not set it up. It was not good enough. And tonight, you could argue in certain instances, it was not good enough again. But it was good enough tonight. Whatever adjustments they were making, it worked. And then just a monster game from Markkanen, who is just elite. He's just elite. Let's see. Okay, but Chris Dunn goes 2 for 7. I felt like his defense was awesome. Look at that, +8. So, plus minus is super variable. But look at all these minuses, and then you've got Chris Dunn +8. He is a winning basketball player. I didn't feel like offensively he played very well. He didn't. 0 for 2 from 3, 2 for 7 from the field. He had a few turnovers. Yeah, 3 turnovers right there. It was a rough going on the offensive end. On the defensive end, he was like a missile again. He just goes at it. And he doesn't, they gave him some bad calls. The refs tonight sucked in the second half. They were just bad. But, man, Chris Dunn goes out there, and what I loved is Will Hardy put him out there late in the game. It was a good substitution. He replaces THT, who I hope the Jazz trade as soon as they can. Let me know in the comments, what would you trade? What type of sandwich would you take for THT? I personally would take a nice, let's go with a nice Philly cheesesteak. If you give me a Philly cheesesteak, Sixers, we'll give you THT. You can have him. You can have him, because that would mean more minutes for my guy Chris Dunn, and my absolute favorite player on this planet, Keyonte George. Let's talk about it. It's time to talk about it. I have been trying to get the hashtag free key going on Twitter. I want it to go more. It needs to become a movement. It needs to be seen by all the Jazz brass. All of them. Elon Musk won't let me repeat the same hashtag. Elon, let me tweet what I want. Let me tweet what I want, Elon. But anyways, free key needs to be a movement. It needs to happen. He needs more minutes. When he was on the floor, and what I loved is the defense too, the intensity. He got a foul call that was absolutely such garbage. He guarded Russell Westbrook with his chest like a man, and he stopped him in the lane, and the coward zebras stopped it. You losers, you cowards. I hate referees. I hate them. Monty, you need to retire, Monty. Retire. 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 Get out of the league. Anyways, Keyonte George stuffed him with his chest. He stopped him like a stud, and they called a foul. The defense was good. The defense was high level. He was tipping balls, passing lanes. He was guarding in isolation. I don't want to hear any complaints about Keyonte George defense because it was good. He is learning from Chris Dunn. The man, the myth, the legend, Chris Dunn. I love it. I love it. But Keyonte George was awesome tonight. Knocks down threes. He controls the ball with the poise of a veteran. I can't believe it. I can't believe how poised he is. And the shot just falls. He is elite. He goes to the rim. They should have called a foul on the drive, dude. Garbage refs. I can't get enough air in my lungs to tell you how. They don't call the game right. But anyways, Keyonte George is absolutely the future of this Jazz team. I mentioned it on Twitter. He is the next version of Darren Williams. That is what he is. He is a special passer. A special passer. He absolutely is. Get ready, guys. I mean, maybe the wheels all fall off, but I'm telling you right now, everything I've seen nothing that tells me he is not going to be a special player. It's funny because when he comes out of the draft, everyone considered him just this scoring sixth man kind of smaller player. Turns out he's 6'4". He's big. He's actually pretty big, and he can shoot the ball. But the thing that we did not know was how good of a passer he was. And it's not just passing, because anyone can pass the ball. You know, THT can pass the ball. He had 8 assists tonight, but not all assists are equal. I want to show you of Keyonte George's 2 assists. This was the one. We're going to look at this. I don't care if they demonetize. Screw you, YouTube. But anyways, yep, Markkanen 3-point shot. This is the one right here. Now, this looks like a simple pass. This is just like a simple, a casual will say, oh, that's just, well, anyone can do that. No, they don't. Look at where the ball hits Markkanen. Watch where this ball hits Markkanen and what it allows Markkanen to do. Watch this. Watch this. This is just pristine passing. Boom. Where were his hands? Look. Markkanen has no wasted movement. He is already in the shot. From the pass. That is elite stuff. It is elite stuff. It is just not, you cannot underestimate how good that is. And not only that, the vision is there. That's the thing that is so exciting. He's 6'4", so he's big enough that he can see the shots. He can see the things before they happen. He is an elite. I mean, look at that accuracy. That's Patrick Mahomes right there. Putting it where it needs to be, where only his man can get it, so he can get that shot off, because there is like zero time for him to get that shot off, and he absolutely gets the shot off as the ball arrives. Perfect. But the vision is there. We've talked about this multiple times. There's 2 types of assists. They are not created equal. There's bailouts, and then there's guys who set up their teammates for a great opportunity. I can't remember who said it, but I love it. There are players who see the opportunity for someone else. They see it, and they make it happen. And Keyonte has it all. He has the size to make the pass. One of the reasons why Jokic is such a good passer, he would not be the same player if he wasn't 7'1" or whatever he is. He's able to make the pass because he's so big. Same with Keyonte. He's 6'4", so he has the size to make all the passes. The whole rainbow. All right? All of you. I don't know what that is. What it is he can make the pass here, 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 here. He doesn't have to make side passes. He doesn't have to be Chris Paul where he's controlling the dribble and creating assists with his snake dribble and things like that. He can make every single pass from every single spot on the court because of his size. That he also has the vision. He sees the plays before they happen. He sees the opportunity and then he seizes it. He's not looking for his opportunity. He's looking for the best opportunity for the team. Sometimes that is him just taking the pull-up three. Sometimes that's it. But sometimes it's saying, look, Markkanen's got 4 feet of space. If I put the ball in the exact spot with the exact speed that gets him into his shot before he even finishes catching the ball, that's a win. And he sees it. So guess what? He needs more minutes. Trade THT, please. Please. Trade someone else too if you have to, but it's got to be more Keyonte George. There is going to be so many times, and tonight was one of them, where you're just like, man, I want him on the floor. I want Keyonte George on the floor. He's going to score the ball. He's going to make a great play. You know? There's so many times. The Keyonte George moment is coming, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Get ready for more and more moments. Tonight, he was big time. On a night where other guys' three-point shot wasn't really falling, Keyonte George was 3 for 5 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. 8 points. And this was against the Clippers team that really made the Jazz struggle. If you guys watched preseason, they absolutely struggled against this Clippers team, right? Right? I mean, honestly, this Clippers team in those first 2 preseason games absolutely took it to the Jazz. And this Jazz team absolutely changed the game. James Nelson, what a name, James. Big time, James. Have a beer, buddy. Relax, we won. Thank you, James. I don't know if I can relax. It's why I do things like injure myself watching a basketball game. It's why when I'm coaching my son's comp league teams, I lose my voice. Get out of the basket! I'm not crazy. Anyways, thank you, James. I appreciate it so much. $4.99 is super generous. Thank you very much, James. Levon, the legend, comes again. $4.99, my man. I've been following you since 2018. Pronounced Levon. All right, there we go. Levon, the legend. I live in Sacramento, and thank you for the Jazz content. What a game tonight. Thank you, Levon. You're amazing. Guys, I get heated on Twitter. If I was mean to you on Twitter tonight, I'm sorry. I was a little out of my mind. I'm sorry. If you were one of those, Levon, I really apologize. But you're amazing. $4.99. Thank you so much, Levon. You're awesome. I appreciate it. Have we said enough tonight? I mean, I think so. Markkanen is amazing. I think I want to end with this with thoughts on Markkanen because he is truly phenomenal. He's just an elite efficiency player. And just does so many different things. So incredible. He does need another player. There is a ceiling there with Markkanen in that he is someone who plays off of a superstar. He's more Scottie Pippen than he is Michael Jordan, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Scottie Pippen, incredible. Lauri Markkanen, incredible. But because he's not got the strongest handle, because, I mean, there were 2 times, I mean, there was just like 3 turnovers tonight, and they were just bad passes. He's just not a super high level. He's just not. That's just not his game. Playmaker. I mean, if he can improve on that, never say never. Never say never. I think he can get there. You know, why not? He's already improved at like an exponential level. But I don't know. I don't know if that's something he's going to ever get. He's not, you know, that pass he received from Keyonte George. Can you see Lauri making that pass to someone else? I don't know. I don't know. But in terms of scoring the ball, playing off of someone, either playing great guard play or just a superstar, elite. And I think he's the type of guy that could be the number 2 on a championship team because if he has a superstar next to him, and who knows, maybe that's a culmination of this Jazz team. Maybe Keyonte George becomes an all-star caliber player, which I think he really can. I really think Keyonte can get there. And then maybe the Jazz can make some sort of trade for another guy, like another star, you know? And then all of a sudden you've got it, right? I don't know if it's fair to expect Lauri Markkanen to become a top 10, top 5 player. That's kind of the guy you need to win a championship. Just history tells you that's kind of what you need. And so we're going to hope that Keyonte George can kind of become that. I don't know if that's fair to expect of Keyonte George, even though I think he's going to be an elite, high-level player. I don't know. So we'll see. But I do think that Lauri Markkanen, we should appreciate Lauri Markkanen for what he is and not focus on the things that he isn't. I mean, we wouldn't do that to ourselves, right? We wouldn't do that to your best friends or your family. Let's not do it to Lauri Markkanen. Let's just appreciate what he is and just hope that the things that he isn't can maybe eventually get there. Maybe. Why not? But for now, those are the things that he could improve on if he wants to get better. He's already improving at the things he's great at. He's becoming not just great, elite, But the things like the passing. I mean, could Lauri Markkanen run a pick and roll? I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing it, right? Just to try it. See if you can get that as part of his game. The thing, oh, by the way, we'll end with that before we do the shout outs to the All-Stars. Did you see it? They ran it. And I talked about this at one point, and I loved it. And by the way, it worked. But Markkanen gets that, where was it? Oh no, he missed it. They're not going to have it because it was a foul and he got free throws. But what it was Keyonte George running a pick and roll with Lauri Markkanen. And I don't know how you guard that. When Keyonte gets to the level I think he's going to be, and you have Lauri Markkanen running a pick and roll with Keyonte George, how do you guard that? How do you guard that? Because you can't drop because Keyonte will knock it down. You can't hedge because Markkanen's fast enough to cut to the basket and he's got elite hands and will knock it down. You can't, I mean, if Markkanen drops back and you get a 3-point shot because I don't know how you guard it. It's just crazy. That is a two-man game and we saw it tonight. It made me so excited and made me so happy that Keyonte George got to play on the floor with Lauri Markkanen. I mean, my gosh, that is crazy town stuff. That is, I mean, I don't know how you guard it. We talk about like great two-man combos in the league, Jokic and Murray, and Booker and KD, but like that two-man game that Jokic and Murray play, if you had something like that going with Keyonte and Lauri Markkanen, how cool. I mean, honestly, such a weapon. And those are the types of things you can go to at the end of the games. I think that's one thing. And this is, you have Donovan Mitchell with the Jazz, where the Jazz so many times just kind of depended on give Donovan the ball and hopefully he wins the game. Whereas some of these teams that have some of these elite combos where like, when the Denver Nuggets are at the end of games in the playoffs, what are they doing? It's a Jokic, Jamal Murray pick and roll. It's just impossible to guard. It just is. And those are the things you need. And that's why it may not be a superstar the Jazz need. Maybe it's just a superstar two-man game that you can end games with. Like a game like tonight when it's within 3-4 points. Can you just run the play that is going to be great? And so that's a play I'm going to watch. That's the play I want to see, guys. Let's call it out when we see it. But when you see a Keyonte George, Lauri Markkanen pick and roll, it's going to be fun to watch. It's because I think it has a chance to be so good. So good. I can't believe the Jazz got him at 16, and even when we were to the live draft, I was like, okay with the pick because you knew he would score. I can't believe how good he is in so many facets of the game. I'm so excited. I think John Collins has been a really good pickup too. I think this has been just an absolute home run. Look at that. Just a reminder, I keep saying one last thing and then I keep going, but remember, the thing that will teach you a lot is minutes played. And once again, John Collins is right there with Lauri Markkanen in minutes played. They trust him about as much as anyone on the floor. Literally, there's the trust numbers right there, So John Collins has been a huge pickup for the Jazz. He helps out in so many ways. Super versatile. He can play with Walker Kessler or Kelly Olynyk. And versatility is the name of this game for the Jazz. Super fun. All right. Well, I forgot. Oh, no. I have it right here. Oh, good job. All right. Should we do it? I think we should. I think it's time. Let's give a shout out to the All-Stars. These are the guys. I love all the members of the channel. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, all of our members. But this is the moment where we give our All-Stars their shout out as producers of the show. All right. Let's give a shout out to Ezekiel Raisibe, the man from down under. Jake, yes, Jake C. Can. Christian House Money to Haas. See ya. Lexalator, Built Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo. Jordan the GOAT Best Roll. Thank you again, Jordan, for the donation. TGD Total Game Domination. Tyson Price, The Price is Right. Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire. DW to CB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer. Patrick Kukubo, The Connoisseur. And Robert Hall of Fame, the OG. What an absolute fun game, guys. And guess what? We get to do it again. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go to Prize Picks and sign up. Use $5. They'll give you $5 on me. But use promo code HoopsNerd. Go do it. All right, guys. I will talk to you next time.